All right, welcome back. This is MDawg, and we are in episode 3. Um, since episode 2, actually, I just had it released today, but when I recorded episode 2, it was before this most recent patch, which the patch was a complete update which reset the fish on the Norwegian Sea. So I imagine this will pretty dramatically change how well we can do. But we won't worry about it. We're just going to give it a shot here. Let's just get out there. Let's take a quick snapshot of the... So probably not anything we're going to get unless we go on a sculpin run. I guess if we get a nice pollock, that's possible. Oh yeah, we were going to figure out food. If I have to, I'll just eat bread. It's not that big a deal. I don't want us to be starving though. So I'm actually going to take us to a different place. I don't know if things have really settled down on the Norwegian Sea yet. I don't know the best approach for someone who's doing a fishing trip like we are in this series. Obviously, previously, before the reset, 41 was an easy choice. 34 was also pretty good. I actually think I'm going to take us up to 75. How much time do we have left? We've got 2 days, 23 hours. So this could end up being a waste of some of our time. But I wonder how... That was 2 days ago. But, you know, if it is, we live and learn, and we'll move down somewhere else. If this doesn't work out, then we'll come down to 34 or 41. I mean, I think they're both still doing okay. It's just probably not quite as strong. And since, especially on this, you know, our leveling experiment account here, we don't have the lurker, which still seems to be doing really well. And I just really don't want to spend silver on something that expensive on our first trip out here. Now, before our second trip, whenever that happens, yeah, we'll probably grab a lure or two. But for now, we're going to try not spending. Now, the thing about 75 is, I'm just not sure if we're going to catch some of the nicer fish on the lures that we have available. There's some nice fish coming out of 75, at least from what I've heard, but that's more like on some of the fancier jigging rigs and bigger lures and such. Are we going to really catch it on, you know, on this kind of stuff? I don't know. But we'll probably just start with the Bond 1. And if that, whether that works or not, we'll at least rotate in, try the Dapper. At least that's a little bit bigger lure. Maybe try the red one or the white one, because I know from past experience those have worked at least at times. So I don't know. I just don't really know what to expect with this. But since the reset was so recent and there's just not a lot of good information yet, I think we just go for it. The downside of 75 is in the number, obviously. It's just deeper, so it just slows us down, right? We can't be quite as efficient, but if we're at least consistently catching fish, that's a fair trade-off. What I noticed in the very limited bit of testing I did on my main account right after the reset was that 41, even 34, was just a good bit slower unless I used some of the fancier rig approaches. So I just don't know. Anything's better than nothing. So like I said, if 75 doesn't seem to be working with our approaches, then we will... I hope it really does stay with a high of 8 and rainy. That could make this a better day fishing, but we'll see. You see how big this map is when you start going like this far out. How long it takes to get out here. It's actually kind of amazing. It is a huge map. I was going to say I think this is a good bit faster than we've ever been able to go in a boat before. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, we can go pretty fast on those boats on Archie as well, so. We are getting there. I did notice that earlier today someone caught a trophy wolffish. But again, this was on a more advanced rig type with a big jigging type lure. But still, there are some nice fish and some bigger fish than what we're used to catching on this account out here at 75. So we'll just have to see how this goes. I think I actually want to get maybe over here into the H4. I'm going to go a little further. Let me see if they showed where they caught that. Yeah, that was like right smack in the middle of H4. Yeah, when fishing at the lower depths, it seems to me that if possible, you just want to have something heavier on there, which we don't have access to at the moment, but just to help it sink faster. So 75, let's do a 90 clip, or 80, maybe an 85 clip. The only reason why we want to have the clip on there is just so that if it if a fish gets on, we'll see the clip symbol disappear. All right, let's see. See how slow it's sinking first. That's not too bad. Okay, already got a bite, so it's probably going to be a mackerel. Yep, nice little mackerel to start us off with. Which, that's one strat we could try. Instead of fishing at the bottom, we could actually, let's try this. Let's just perk it at 35 meters for a minute. See if we get any activity. All right, there we go. So if this were to work, this solves the problem of how long we have to wait for the lure to go all the way down. We got to bite really quickly, and this is sort of the perfect size fish for us. Big enough to give us some XP, and some silver, but not so big we can't get it down, get it in. All right, so we'll just might just stop it at 35. See if we can keep this up for a little bit. Of course, the other thing we could do is change the clip to 35, and then it will stop it for us. I do want to put maybe one of the dappers on there and actually send it down to the bottom at least one time. Let's go ahead and do that while it's early in the morning, good bite rate. Let's just see what happens. Do we want to go white or red? I think I want to try the white one first. So the 07. Let's just see what happens here. That first day the map came out, this particular dapper was doing pretty decent. No bites on the drop, it looks like. All right, it's a long way down. See how long this takes. Okay, that was not too bad. And potentially we have the chance of hooking into some different species fishing that deep. Hopefully still not anything too big with how small of a lure we have on, but who knows. All right, so that didn't take that long to get a bite. Let's see what this fish is, though. And we'll immediately switch to the red dapper just to try that one, and then we'll go from there. So it is still a safe. It's kind of like, okay, we probably could have caught that one at 35 meter, right? But you never know. Next fish, you know, even on that white dapper, next fish might have been something rare. You just never know. All right, once again, oh, we did get a bite. So it was still dropping when we got the fish on. Now this is smaller. I'll be really curious to see what this is. There's a nice little haddock. All right, let's try it again. Is that our personal best haddock? Just don't remember how many haddock we caught. No, we had a much nicer one on the Bond 06 over at pre-patch. All right. We'll see how long this takes. So we're on the bottom at about 80 meters. I want it to drop back down a little bit. There we go. So still not too bad. All right, I vote we go back to the Bond at 35 and just see if we can keep a decent bite rate up at the shallower. As it gets later in the morning and even into the afternoon, it might slow way down. We might have to go back down to the bottom, but we'll see. That's a cusk. We are at 13% now. Oh, I almost forgot to stop it. Oh, we have drifted a long way. Might want to move the boat back south a little bit. It's taking longer than we want, right? There we go. So I just kind of was changing the elevation, just trying to find that mackerel. Hopefully this is a mackerel. At this size, we don't want it to be safe. Oh, it is safe though, isn't it? Alright, so let's, yeah, we pretty much want to go south, maybe southeast a little bit. A little bit farther. Alright, let's try it. Alright, so far so good. See if we can keep it up here. Surprised how quickly we drifted there. Getting some overcast skies. Maybe we want to try some different colors on the lures, but let's just see. I'm kind of trying to use the exact same one just to do some comparisons here on bite rate, how long it takes to get a fish on. We're almost certainly going to catch saithe or mackerel. There might be an occasional bycatch at this depth, but I think we are much more likely for it to be those species. I think I'll try the 06 before we go back to the bottom. I think I'll try the 06. We've got full overcast skies now. Feels like it's starting to get a little stormy. So this should be increasing the bite rate, typically. Things may go dive a little deeper though. I think we might need to go back to the bottom. All right, one more perk. If that doesn't do it, then we'll come all the way up, switch lures, and go back to the bottom. Huh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely too long for the fish type that we're catching. All right, so we're gonna go 06. Oh, we could do 05 too. We'll try the 6, and let's just let it go. Let's just let it go all the way to the bottom, especially with it being stormy now. You may have noticed that I have changed the name of this series that we're doing. Let me pull that up. So initially I was calling this a leveling guide. The series was being referred to as a leveling guide. Even though I think I made it clear in the first episode and maybe even repeated myself last episode that I do not recommend this for new players to, like, on a brand new account, jump into the Norwegian Sea trips. That's not at all what I would recommend. I really just kind of wanted to, as an experiment, see what this would be like. And if somebody is new to the game and all the talk is about this new Norwegian Sea map, they have given us a way to be able to experience it. So that's really kind of where this series came from, why I put it together in the first place. But I've changed the name of it to the Leveling Experiment Part 1 and 2, and this will of course be 3. Just to make sure even in the title of the series we're being clear that this is experimental. This isn't like my normal leveling series where I'm spending a lot of time considering for new players what smart options are, or what, you know, kind of getting going, building your system, getting used to things, what that looks like. This is a little different. This is a little more experimental. So just to make sure that was clear for people. All right, so now the bite rate has just really slowed down. We finally did get a fish. I'm actually thinking of going back to the Dapper, the red one perhaps, and see if we can maintain a reasonable bite rate. If we can't, even though we've caught some pretty okay fish here, and this is, I think, a spot that you can consider for sure. Oh, that is a wolffish on the bottom. Look at that. That's our first wolffish, right? It's just the bite rate's getting longer and longer. Do we try it again since we got a wolffish on it? Maybe I will. I mean, how cool would it be to actually catch a decent size wolffish? Even that non-marker one was reasonable experience. I think from here, if we do move, I think the first thing we try is a 34 before going back to the 41. And if the 34 is okay, we may just stay there. I kind of know what the 41 feels like. It's not terrible, but it's pretty slow. And so compared to what it was like pre-patch, it's a pretty big adjustment. All right, there we go. So that bite happened much quicker. Let's see what this is. It's another wolffish. I'm not changing the lure, so there's 1000 XP. I think these wolffish are decent silver as well. I mean, obviously that's a tiny one. Just barely a marker, but we're using small lures, so that kind of backs up the VK spot where someone trophied a wolffish out here. Of course, using a much bigger lure, but they are here. I love it when a fish gets it on the drop. Again, we hope this is a mackerel. I know I've said that before, but when it's this size, oftentimes mackerels will hit it on the drop. So it's pretty reasonable chance that that's what it is. There we go. So 8 fish that are markers, 2 non-markers so far. One of the things I'm really excited about is trying out this Arrow S60L at Belaya. So if anybody knows of any, by the way, if anybody knows of any good Mosquito, Winding, Belaya, even Old Berg spots right now, feel free to comment and I'll test them out. Because it won't be long till we'll be done with our Norwegian sea trip and then talking about how to transition from, as a low-level player, having an influx of silver and experience, but then trying to make some good decisions on transitioning back to the normal low to mid-level maps and fishing types. Okay, I can handle this bite rate with the chance of catching wolffish and saithe and mackerel. So far, this is not bad. So now I'm thinking, if anything, if we're going to travel, we wait and travel overnight when the bite rate's going to slow down, no matter where we're fishing. It's another wolffish, y'all. We are 3 for 3. Nope, we had that mackerel in the drop. If you take away the drop, we are 3 for 3 with this lure on wolffish right now. Wasn't that many days ago, I'd never even heard of a wolffish. Uh-oh. On the drop, we're hoping mackerel. Mackerel or squid, that's what we're hoping, right? Those are best case scenarios for this situation. Mackerel. Nice. We are hitting some good mackerel. All right, let's see. It was so quick, I didn't really even fully get what the cafe said. There was no mackerel. I always screenshot it on our way in. We did have the trophy safe, the pollock. Eel pouts, those would be more on the 41 or 35, 34 or whatever. Sculpin probably more over there as well. Blue whiting. The blue whiting and sorry are catchable, but probably not with anything that we have. Ooh, I love it. Man, this is great. All right, so if you are in the middle of a trip and, you know, you're low or mid-level, don't have a lot of the advanced rigs, I would say right now, at least compared to what I experimented with last night on my main account, I would say 75 is better than 41 maybe. Now, if you're using the lurker, that may not be true. Lurker was still doing okay over down there at the shallower spots, but this is pretty impressive. There's a pollock. It's our second pollock, right? No. We had a haddock. All right, pollock, haddock. That's a good question. What's the largest pollock we've caught? It's bigger than that, I'm sure, but not by a lot. Yeah, 6.5 on the 10. Pre-patch. Another good fish. There was a pollock order, but it's got to be 6.2. If we catch a 6.2 pollock, that's 174 silver, though. So even if there's a chance of that, that's pretty nice. That'd be pretty fun to get in on this setup. We would get it in. I'm not saying it's super hard or anything, but it'd be fun. Look at this bite rate. It's incredible. All right, what are we hoping this is? Sculpin? I mean, I don't really want to catch a sculpin, but it's so small. You can find mackerel down that deep, I guess, but I think it's a little unusual. Mackerel, squid, not usually that deep, right? Yeah, it's a small haddock. I mean, there's no way we're going to finish our trip in this video, I don't think. So we've got this and then one more trip before the first Norwegian Sea trip is done. This has just been a really fun experiment, though. I'm glad we did this, and my hope is to be able to continue it, at least for a little while. Give us some interesting discussions to have. Really, there's so many changes to the game and to the gear since I did the last time I did at least a thorough leveling guide. Hopefully we can keep going for a little while. still where we want to be. A little longer. And very small. Makes me think maybe the wolffish have stopped biting. Maybe they're more active at a certain time. There's a blue whiting. Speaking of blue whiting. Alright, so let's try... Let's try the Dapper 6 again. We also could try the Bond 5, but let's try the Dapper 6. Some nice fish, though. We're going to make probably a couple hundred more silver or so, I would say. Chances are we're not going to hit an order, though. Cafe orders help so much. We might have to be patient to get a bite on this, but it's worth checking. All right. Question is, what is it? You know, I like this reel. It's the first time I've ever used this reel. It's been a good reel, though. Good spinning reel. Ooh, yes. 1700 experience. Small redfish. We're at 14. What was it? 14.3? Oh, we just switched locations into I-4. I don't know, like on the map it doesn't look like we're actually in I-4, but it must not be 100% accurate one way or the other. I hope this is another redfish based on the size. Yep. Nice. All right. Two small redfish in a row. It seems like we're a lot less likely to get fish on the drop using the Dapper versus the Bond. The redfish are gone. It's taking too long, isn't it? All right. Just keeping the perking going as we reel it up, just in case we can manufacture a bite. All right. Before we give up on this spot, let's try the 05. If it ends up being really slow again, if we don't get a bite, it'll make me wonder if we should have moved the boat a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. It's taking a little long here. Finally. Let's see. Can't tell how deep that is based on the coloration. But I'm thinking we go try to throw in that hole for a minute or two before switching off to... I just would love to find another spot before it's overnight to catch a couple fish. When this map first came out, we were killing squid like at 115, up in 190. But you're fishing like, you know, pretty close to the surface. That was fun though. They have gotten a little harder to catch since that time. Alright, let's try here. I'm going to stop it at 35. And if we don't get a bite there, I'll let it drop farther. See how deep it is here. Alright, it looks like it's only 50 meters here. And we got a pretty quick bite. Okay. Is that a cusk? I can't tell. Kind of look like it. Yeah. 14.7, 1200 XP. We're just not going to have energy. Our comfort's low, our energy's low. We don't have tea. It's another thing that would be nice is before coming out here, at least saving up enough silver to craft a bunch of tea. But we'll definitely have it before our second trip, so to get your comfort up and your energy. All right, there's a safe. Let's see where we are right now. Just want to go south just a little bit. Oh, a little deeper. So 55 here. Or between 50 and 55, I guess. It's another interesting spot that we're in. This could just be another cusk. And we have no energy, which just makes this whole thing a little more challenging. What's the largest fish we've caught so far? An 8.1 cusk. I don't think this is going to beat that. It's. I think it's because of the energy situation. This feels so big. At least partially. Be funny if this is a baby halibut. Oh, man. It is a cusk. Oh, so close to our personal heaviest. So 3,200 experience, some more points. We'll take it. I mean, this time of night, it's okay if something takes a while to get in. You just want to bite something to work on through the night. So, cusk, safe, cusk, since we started fishing at this spot. I guess it's a 55-meter hole. Let's see, it's after 11 p.m. What are we catching this late? Safe? 15%. It's actually so deeper just north of here. we're still catching fish. I'll take it. It's after midnight. This might be a tough bite to get. We'll see. Ooh, Botata has a blue whiting trophy. That is awesome. That was a weekly record. The only reason why I'm trying for this long is because of what time of day it is. I'm gonna pull it in just a minute, and we're gonna rotate spots while it's still overnight, and then we'll just fish a little bit more first thing in the morning. Let's go ahead and get it up to 35 and see if we can just test here for a minute. All right. Didn't mean to do that. All right, I think we just go down to 34 here. And then I will, before our final Norwegian Sea episode, I will try to get a little more intel, maybe come up with a little bit more information to see what the best way to finish our trip here is. We've done pretty good. I was nervous that we might feel like we have a lot of wasted time this trip after the patch, but it's really not been bad. And like I said, I think we'll get a couple hundred silver at least. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm expecting. Which will get us up over 1,000. Theoretically, you would have done a little better pre-patch, I think. Although, as more intel comes out, that might change again. And as things settle in. Whenever this map is, like, reset, oftentimes takes a little bit of time to settle, it seems like. Alright, it's still early / overnight, but let's see what we can do here. So this is 34, I believe, so we'll put it at 45 just to be sure. It's 3:22. Sun is up. We should start seeing some action. So 3:42, first bite. Yeah, now that it's daylight, we're getting a good bite right here. I mean, I think to me, and the little bit of testing I did, this spot and 41 felt very similar. 34 and 41 now feel pretty similar. Neither one of them great, but neither one of them terrible. So we're just trying to get a little bit more silver, a little bit more XP before this trip is over. There we go. Switch to the 3, right? Yeah. Nice safe. Over 2,000 XP. I mean, at this level, you can't beat a nice safe. We'll take that all day. In terms of the XP, as well as just adding up on silver, like, again, we're just trying to find decent bite rates. The fish we catch out here are just worth tons of silver and XP for the level we are. It's been interesting limiting ourselves, not purchasing any other lures. Sometimes it's fun to have some limitations. Just kind of rotating between the lures we do have, trying to figure out what might work a little better in what situation. It's been pretty cool. What else have we felt pretty good about? Really, these two. Try the red one here. I don't know that I'd even want to try the Dapper here. This seems more like a smaller fish, good bite rate spot. Full sun, no clouds. This might not be the right color lure. It's tough not being able to cut up some of this into bait. Okay, nice haddock. Let's just go one more fish. I think we've done pretty well for ourselves. Oh, we're getting close to 15. Let's see what this next fish is. So I do think we'll hit 15 before we leave the Norwegian Sea. I don't necessarily think we'll hit 16 though. But still, to go from 1 to 15 in our first trip, not setting any records. I'm sure pre-patch folks were making it a little further than that, but still pretty good. We may just spend the... Nah, I mean, I shouldn't even try to predict. I was going to say we might just spend the final session at 41, just see how good we can do, but we might have better intel by then. Who knows? This is just a little too slow for what we're catching. It's not terrible, but it's just a little slow. So we need what? 4K XP. And we could get that in one fish. That's most likely 2 or 3 fish, 2 or 3 decent fish, but we'll see what this is. This might just be a 1500 XP safe or something. Ooh. Is it a turbot or a place? I think it's a place, which means it's going to be good. Yeah, that's 5,000 XP. There's level 15. Nice fish, by the way. 2.4 place. That is awesome. All right, let's do one more fish. Let's don't go out on a really good fish. Let's go one more. So we now have 14 skill points. Of course, not using any yet. We'll start putting those in once our Norwegian Sea trip is over. How many hours are we in? That's a good question. 3 days in game. Oh, I thought that was a bite. People in chat were talking about just how fast we're leveling. I mean, we're at, according to this, 3 days in game, which, you know, just what, we're somewhere past 3 hours on this account. Already hit level 15. But silver is probably a little bit on the slow side. That's a nice over a kilo sculpin. If we had gotten to level 15 at the normal rate, we probably have earned a little bit more silver in this, although I don't know. I think that's the case. I'd have to look back though. All right, I'll be right back. And as with every time we do this, we will double check cafe, sell our fish, and then we'll be done with this episode so we maximize our time on the Norwegian Sea for our last session out here on our first 5-day trip. All right, so we needed 4 more of those. That wasn't going to happen. None of ours were, I think that's trophy size, right? No huge cusk. We needed 4 more redfish. We didn't get the pollock. We certainly didn't get the safe trophy. All right, let's see how we did. By price, of course, that place is the most. So we ended up with 259. So we were we were right around 200 silver before we hit that place. The cusk really add up. So we'll take 259. Now puts us at 1141 silver. We have 1 day, 17 hours. So we'll get one more healthy session out, hopefully. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Tight lines.